don't talk about anime on the channel here all too much. The last time I talked about anime was My Dear Friend Noko-tan. What a weird video that was. I don't know why I made that video. So today we're going to be talking about anime. Chainsaw Man Reze arc. I went to go see that yesterday with my brother, and we bought 2 movie tickets. Had a great afternoon. I will tell you, this is the most life-changing movie ever. You have a couple bucks to spare, and if it's actually showing in your area, you should go see it. This movie is one to experience in theaters. It very much is. This is a very rare thing for me as a person. Coming out of a movie theater and saying, I want to watch that again, is a very rare thing for me. So much that that night, I ended up watching it again. Chainsaw Man Reze arc is probably one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. Here's how I think of this movie, okay? Let's just get this out of the way. I paid for the ticket, I sat and watched it, and I think every single penny was well spent. This movie is cinema gold. Now, for those who don't want spoilers, I'm gonna be talking about some of them in this video. Very obvious. If you still want to go and appreciate this movie, I'd suggest you click off. From here on, I might say something about some critical part of the movie, and it'll be all spoiled for you. But it's okay. I don't think I have too much to talk about, and I don't know the manga per se, so I don't really, have the whole story. I'm waiting for these animes to come out. And speaking of this one, it is Chef's Kiss. Let's get one thing out of the way. My favorite animes have only been a couple. Frieren, a thriller called Psychopaths. Probably a couple people don't know that one. That one's really good. Konosuba, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and 86. That is it, man. That is the only animes that I go crazy for, okay? I would recommend Frieren 1,000 times over for somebody who likes fantasy and, well-taught stories. But I am adding Chainsaw Man Reze arc onto that list. It's only a movie. It's not even a show. I think what's special about this movie, and I figured out after seeing it, is that this is a whole arc. This spans for a couple chapters. Condensing the whole arc of a character into one single spot, into an hour-and-a-half feature-length film. It's very impressive. I figured out that it spans for a couple of chapters after I looked up how to read this manga, because I'm really addicted to Chainsaw Man right now, as you can tell. Chainsaw Man already is a deep story. It's a very, very deep story about one boy and his goal to be touching boobs. A lot of people write off Denji as immature. Yeah, that's because he is. He's 16. Weren't we all 16 at one point? Obviously, behind all of that immaturity is a deeper message. The Reze arc explored more of Denji. And that's the one thing I appreciate about Chainsaw Man. You can actively see and read Denji's change. I think any kid that has to slay monsters to pay off a debt, and he's 16? Yeah, that's very unfortunate. This movie isn't really an ensemble of characters too much. In fact, I feel like it mostly is focused on Reze. How charming she is, how deadly she is. A lot of animes will have a romance that is kind of cheesy, but these are 2 broken people. Denji being used as a weapon, being hunted for all the time. Reze being a Soviet weapon, being conditioned since she was a kid. These 2 are complementing broken characters. They have to put themselves aside for their goals, for their mission. And for reasons, if it's taking Denji's chainsaw heart, it must happen. But what we saw before all the crazy, by the way, the second half of the movie, just straight action, which is very well paced for an anime movie. I think showing the intimacy before the fight was a very good thing. There was no fights, there was no action until the second half of the movie. So the anime had time to build a connection between Denji and Reze. You had a little bit of suspicions about Reze if you're not reading the manga, until it came to full circle for her being a devil herself, hunting down the Chainsaw Man. And this might sound like a weird one. Let's talk about the pool scene, because man, that's the only kind of spoiler territory I might really get into. I can look at things on a deeper level, and the pool scene, which I can't show any of that because that'll just get me age restricted on here. But there's a deeper message accompanied by an amazing piano track, one that I find myself revisiting and listening to. The very deep thing about the pool scene for Denji and Reze is Reze, who can't use her bomb, and anything like that, attempting to connect to Denji. And in that moment, till the end, I realized that this movie was definitely about Reze, but was also mainly focused for Denji to discover what love is. Speaking of what Denji loves and likes, man, I can't even begin to talk about those lingerie scenes. You do not need to flash my boy Angel Devil. That was crazy, man. That was nuts. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. We get to see a new in-depth character, Angel Devil, which in season 1, I noticed wasn't really used a lot. It was just introduced. And there's a new relationship going on between Aki and Angel Devil. In fact, in season 1, we were introduced to a character named Aki, who obviously hates devils. So to have a devil alongside him is way different. In fact, a devil that literally wants to kill himself. Angel Devil doesn't even want to be around as much as he does. But even though this movie was about Reze, we discovered another small relationship. It's hard without some pushback to write a male character liking another male character without making it weird or gay. They didn't explore too much of it, I think, in this version. We might get more about it later on. Hopefully there's a season 2, man. Hopefully there's a season 2. But to wrap this thing up, honestly, this is a timeless classic of a movie for anime lovers. And honestly, this is one of those types of animes that you can honestly show to somebody who doesn't like anime. It's amazing. It's not too campy and like an anime. It's not too, weird or being serious. It's telling a real story, a very tragic story. Denji is a very tragic character, and you don't need to know too much about him. I think you can read a lot of what Denji is just by seeing this movie still, which is very cool. But yeah, this movie is gold. It's gold. It's amazing visuals. The fight scenes were great. I really can't talk much about that because there was so much going on, so much frames being used, so much like art. Like there was I don't know. I don't know how there was so much color. It was just a lot. It was really good. MAPPA is a very amazing studio. I did hear about the news about them, but I mean, they do their work and it shows. And yeah, 10 out of 10 movie. Like I said, I don't talk about anime too much on this channel, but this is a 10 out of 10 and you should definitely go see Chainsaw Man Reze Arc. Anyways, that's about it. See ya.